You know,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
so did it officially lapse? Like did your status lapse and then they came and like picked you up, or how did that work?
well, no, that's the thing. It was my DACA was still it was still good. My DACA didn't expire till October, but I got arrested in August. And literally, when I just went, I was on probation. I went to my third appointment, so everything was going well. First, second, okay. Third appointment, they were like, well, we need to speak to you real quick. Like my probation officer was just, hey, can we speak to you here? And that's when, I mean, they started asking me questions, and I didn't really know what was going on. I thought it was just somebody that works there, or I don't know, because they weren't even showing badges or nothing like that. And then they were like, well, laws are changing. You need to see an immigration judge. And that was really it.
That sounds freaky.
Yeah, they didn't tell me much. I mean, they literally just said, laws are changing. Laws are changing.
That sounds freaky.
Yeah.
The laws are changing. See the book.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh
and then they
my,
just took
that
out the
gives me
badges,
some
and then
chills.
that's when you know that it's ICE people. And at that point, I already knew what was going to be happening. And so I was just, the thing is, I was scared because I was also with my mom. She had to take me to do the appointment. And so, you know, I was also worried for her, just making sure that nothing happened to her. But then I also wanted to at least tell her, hey, this is happening. But there was no way. I couldn't even tell her bye. I couldn't say anything until I was already in the car, in the back of their car.
Through your probation officer getting told basically going to get picked up for this. So did you get picked up when you showed up to a probation appointment?
Yeah, I just went in, and then I still paid the fees that you have to pay. So they just, you know, they could have told me not to at least. But I went in, I checked in, I paid it was like $75 that I had to pay. And then I went in there, and they just took me to a room, talked to me, said the laws are changing, literally less than 5 minutes.
And then they showed up and picked you up.
Well, they were there telling me that this was going to be happening.
Oh, that was ICE that was there?
That was ICE that was telling me, but they didn't have uniforms. They literally, this guy was just in a t-shirt and shorts, and then this other guy just regular clothing too, like. And then they just take out their badges whenever they told me that. So it's
an experience like that, tying into what we were talking about not being a violent criminal. I don't want anybody to experience that.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who overthinks in the morning. If you tell me we have to talk, I'm already worried. That sounds scary.
Yeah. It was. And like I said, I was just worried for my mom. I was worried about just everything. I wasn't really thinking about, you know, I was saying like, let me say bye to her. But then like, honestly, something clicked. I was like, you know what? I don't need to do that because I don't want to put her in any danger. I don't want her to, I mean, I know how she would react, especially seeing me being taken. And so I think it was better that I didn't.
Goodness.
And so in the back of the car, they just let me make a call. And as soon as I drove off the parking lot, I was able to see my mom, and, you know, they were already telling her that I was being taken away by ICE. So that was just one of the...
Because you can't do anything as a rational human being. You can't like flee. Like that's now a criminal thing. Like, my goodness.
And you hear about people that try to do that, or they're just violent towards you. Like I've heard several cases of officers being violent towards people's, or, you know, just making it worse. And I knew that that's not what I wanted. I just complied. And I mean, that's all I had to do. That's really all.
Yeah. Wow. The violence and all that. I mean, it doesn't sound like you're a violent individual, but wow, that makes my heart sink just thinking of that and knowing me. That is a scary thing to get told.
Yeah.
And wow, saying stuff like, I don't want my mom to see me getting picked up. Like, oh my goodness.
No, it was hard. And then I was taken to a Dallas, it was a holding center, or I'm not sure what they even call it, but it was different from where I was. And that was just there for 3 days. Well, just 3 days, but it was like, it's just a room where you're sharing a room with a bunch of guys. You are on the floor. It's crowded, it's hot, it's cold. Food is the worst. You don't really eat anything. Like those 3 days, I really did not eat anything. You can't shower. There's a bathroom in there. You have to just use the bathroom in front of everybody. Um, you just got to be dirty, really, because you get on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, going. So I mean, that's full on jail. I mean,
Yeah.
instead of prisons, like you're in a cell and you're still going to the washroom in front of people. It's
Yeah.
not any less humiliating. But wow. So what were you doing like the morning, the week of before you get this phone call? Let's hear about this life that you were living. I mean, and then what you went into. That's just a terrifying call to hear.
Yeah. I mean, I was just normal. I mean, it was the middle of summer, so I mean, I was working from home because I couldn't really drive anywhere. I was respecting all of that. You know, I didn't have my license or anything available, so I was just working from home. Me and my mom were always together just because she doesn't work, so me and her are always just doing stuff, and she'd be the one to take me to therapy. She'd be the one that was taking me to all these places, appointments, anything that I needed. Um, I would go out with my friends from here to time. I was doing therapy weekly. So after my DUI, I was in therapy from August of 24 all the way to August of 25. Literally, I had an appointment that that week that I got arrested, and this was something I discussed with my therapist as well. Just kind of like the fear of this could happen. So the fact that it did happen, it was just a lot, and yeah, I mean, I was just living a normal life. I mean, it was, summer, like I said. So I had my pool. I was just laying out. I would work, and there was not much that I could do. So
Yeah, I mean, living it up. It's summer in the
yeah,
US. Like, come on, let's have some fun, you know?
exactly.
Good thing that you did that now. I mean,
Yeah.
let's put a joke into it
No,
there, you know?
absolutely, absolutely. I was
But
still
wow.
enjoying it. I was still enjoying it, and then they actually rescheduled my appointment. So that's the thing. I think it was supposed to be like a week later, but they were like, "Hey, can you come in this week instead? You know, we just have to get this done before." And that was it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think
Were you like, you didn't think anything of that? I
no,
mean, there wasn't. So were
no.
you at all like cautious or anything as like the administration was changing and you heard like reports and stuff like that? Or were you like,
Uh, I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, after the DUI was kind of where everything obviously changed. And
oh, I guess you had the DUI already, so
yeah,
you were like
it's been a year already. So I think I was just being already cautious. Um, but I also, like I said, I discussed with my therapist a lot of the times that this could happen, that this would be something that could be in the cards for me. And so we discussed it multiple times. And I mean, it was something that I already had in the back of my mind, and it was very possible.
it's
But at the
tough to
same time,
foresee how that happens so quick though. And
yeah,
definitely the what it sounds like it transpired towards, I'm holding that off a little bit to get some more details on
yeah,
it. But wow, it's like sounds like a lot all at once.
hmm,
And it sounds like you were a year away from the DUI event and
hmm,
probably just like chilling up a regular life, you know,
yeah,
doing what you're doing,
yeah,
and then this kind of happens all at once, which is a little freaky.
right, right.
Yeah.
What just happened, and like I said, I was not expecting it. Even when I went in there, everything seemed so normal. When I went to check in, and when I went through, it never took more than like 10, 15 minutes at my appointments. So I was there, checked in, paid. Like I said, you pay a fee for that, for like court fees, and you pay for like probation fees and all this stuff. So it's,
So those are fees you're paying for probation check-ins then?
yeah, $75. It was what
Wow.
I was supposed to pay.
That's, I mean, I was gonna say that story gives people chills no matter their political leanings. I'm telling you that is something to hear.
Yeah,
Being that you're not, I mean, I think people should really, really take on to that point that you're somebody who has a very normal problem in the eyes of most Americans, and you're
yeah,
being told to come in and you're basically time to move. That's what you're
yeah.
being told there. That's
That's all they say.
freaky.
That's all they say. Yeah, it
Yeah,
would.
well, the limited information and like they're not telling you everything,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little freaky. So you're in Tijuana, Mexico right now.
Yeah.
And you're mentioning that obviously it's pretty new experience.